Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for making it here today to our fall project showcase. We are so excited to have you guys all here, and there might still be some people streaming in, but we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's talk about the agenda. So we're going to start with some guest speakers, and then we are going to congratulate our bootcamp class. We're going to congratulate sourcing and talk about the work that sourcing has done this semester. And then we're going to do project team presentations, and then we're going to get into live demos, and then pixel prizes, and then our closing. With all that being said, let's get started with our sponsors and partners. So I'm going to hand it off to Richard.
Yeah, so we'll first start with CodePath. Thank you so much for being our sponsors. We have a few other ones still, including Microsoft. We have one of our mentors here, Javid, right there. Thank you so much. We also have Bloomberg, Do Good, Smith School of Business, Center for Social Value Creation, and also ACES, and also Uber. Thank you so much. Without them, we wouldn't be able to actually run, because these things cost a lot of money, including amenities, also our bonding events, which are pretty expensive. So thank you so much for being our sponsor. So we'll first start off with CodePath. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. To start things off, my name is Hannah Barra.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tori Darby.
And we both are on the student marketing team at CodePath. So CodePath is a 501c3 nonprofit that helps students break into tech. And we're really proud to be a recurring sponsor for Hack4Impact-UMD. So really, as an organization, we want to empower our students to break into a successful tech career and really be able to collaborate with each other and engage in project-based learning. So much of what we do and so much of what we're looking for as an organization are students like you, our University of Maryland students, but especially students that took time, collaborated with each other, and put together such a strong demo that we'll be able to see tonight. So I just wanted to share out some of our offerings that we have available this spring. So for a little bit of context, the way that we work is we partner with a lot of the big tech companies. And if you're ever curious, we have some incredible CodePath students on our e-board. We have a couple, but I'm going to out Richard because he introed us. And I feel like he's just CodePath embodied. But yeah, we work with a variety of organizations in the DMV area. Amazon's a huge partner of ours. And really through the companies we work with, we're able to offer a variety of courses at no cost to students. So there's no application fee or hidden tuition or anything. And for this spring, we are promoting a few courses that are open for you guys to apply for right now: technical interview prep, cybersecurity, web development, as well as iOS development. And I know this is a lot of info in a short period of time, so definitely scan that QR code or find us out at the end of this event. We have a table and we would be happy to discuss more of our offerings with you guys. And beyond just our courses themselves, we also have our own CodePath Career Center that you can go to and really just connect to better engage with different internship opportunities and really just connecting you with the companies we're working with. And like I said, our applications are open right now. And I know you guys are in the thick of obviously the showcase, but also finals and everything. But we are a rolling admissions process. So as you wrap up with all the crazy things on your plate, definitely take some time, review our courses page, explore the different courses that we have available for this spring. I'm trying to think, Tori, there's anything else?
I think you pretty much covered it.
Yeah, so with that being said, thank you so much. We love working with Hack4Impact. We hope to just be able to better see how you guys would be able to continue in potentially starting your CodePath journey. And if you have any questions, find Tori and I out in the lobby. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, CodePath, for supporting us once again. Feel free to scan the QR code or also meet with them outside. All right, next up will be Smith Center for Social Value Creation. So we have Luca and also Sarah.
Hello, everyone. We're here coming from the Smith School of Business. My name is Luca. I'm a senior marketing and supply chain major, and I'm also chief of staff at the Center for Social Value Creation.
And hi, everybody. I'm Sarah. I work for our Office of Experiential Learning, and I'm also on the marketing team with the Center for Social Value Creation. So we're going to go ahead and get into what the Center for Social Value Creation is. I know not everybody here is going to be affiliated with the Smith School of Business, so I'm just going to read off to you our mission statement. So the Center for Social Value Creation embodies a passionate mission to educate, engage, and empower our campus community and the world through thought-provoking dialogue, thought leadership, and hands-on experience. So I'm going to pass it off to Luca now to just talk a little bit more about how you guys could get involved with us and really educate, engage, and empower.
So our most prestigious offering is our Impact Consulting Fellowship, which happens 3 times each year, so normally each semester and then the summer. And this is an opportunity for students of any major or background to spend a semester working on a team of undergraduate, master's, MBA, and doctoral students to do a consulting project for an impact-driven organization. We're always looking to see how we can make an impact while still being in the business field. This is a great opportunity for anyone to build their consulting skills, expand their network, and gain professional experience. And this upcoming semester, we're going to be having a lot of data and analytics focused projects, so we encourage any of you to apply. Applications are going to be opening next week, and those will close at the beginning of next semester.
All right, and so now we just want to let you guys know to stay connected with us, also with ICF, the Impact Consulting Fellowship. I was a member of that in my earlier years, and I really do highly recommend it. It's great to have on a resume, and it's great to talk about in interviews, as well as just getting like that real world experience that sometimes is hard to find when you're in the classroom. So yeah, please stay connected with us. If you guys are interested, you can go ahead and scan that QR code. That is going to link to our link tree, so you can just find out some more information about us, click all those fun links.
Yeah, and by scanning that QR code, you'll be up to date with when that ICF application launches. We also do a series of case competitions each semester that are open to students in any major, as well as host sustainability-based conferences, have great speaker events, and student opportunities. So make sure to stay connected with us, and we'll be outside at the end to answer any questions. Thank you, guys.
All right, and now we'll have a representative from I think TEDCO, Karen, who's here. Thank you so much for coming. They're they're associated with the state government, correct? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Karen Zuccardi. I am the Ecosystem Director for TEDCO. We are the Maryland Technology Development Corporation. We are a quasi-state agency, and we are the public VC of the state. We have been in business for about 25 years, and what we do is we identify, invest, and help grow technology and life science-based companies in Maryland. So as you guys continue to grow your education and your business ideas, we hope that you think about TEDCO. Not only do we provide investment opportunities, anything from $25,000 up to $2 million, but we also provide mentoring. Because a lot of times, what entrepreneurs think, the only thing they need is money, but having the right mentor at the right time can also sometimes even help you more than having money in your bank account. Because if you have $1 million, you don't know how to use that money. How much do I pay myself? How much do I pay the team? How do I work with taxes? How is this payroll thing? In a matter of no time, that money goes away. Anything, we are technology agnostic, bio, quantum, IT, cyber, stem cell, I mean, you name it. We have been doing this for about 25 years, and we have helped create over 10,000 jobs in Maryland, and our economic impact has been almost $3 billion. So you guys are in one of the most innovative states in America. You guys have a great organization supporting you. And don't forget that entrepreneurship and successful entrepreneurs are not going after money. They're going after solving a problem. So as you guys continue to develop your education, think about those problems that maybe through the classes that you're taking or things that you see around that can be solved through technology and innovation. Think of us, because we're here and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. And lastly, you all may be familiar, President Darryll Pines.
Thank you. So how about a round of applause for Richard and Sheldon for their leadership of Hack4Impact. So they told me that this organization started about 4 years ago. So I'm very proud that it's now here at College Park. I also too want to thank all of the sponsors. I don't have all of the lists here, but of course to CodePath. Like, it's nice to see you doing the good work that you do. I just looked you up while you guys were talking. I'm really proud of what you guys are accomplishing. So thank you for being here and supporting this organization. Bloomberg, of course, Uber, ACES, and the Smith Center for Social Value Creation. You know, when I was the Dean of Engineering here, so I've been here 30 years. I was Dean of Engineering for 11 years before I became president for the last 4.5 years. Dean Anand started the Social Value Creation Center. And the center was doing exactly what, you know, Hack4Impact is trying to do, is essentially work on those problems that really will have a social impact on lives of many people. So I just want to commend all of you for participating and using your skills, whether it's in computer science or some other domain space, to partner with the various not-for-profits that you've partnered with to advance their cause and their mission, just like CodePath. It's a not-for-profit, but it has a mission to bring software and technology to diverse populations. This is really important because part of your job as citizens, not just as technologists or business majors, is to make lives better for other people. In fact, that's what we care about here at the University of Maryland, because we are the only do-good campus in the nation. And we take that very seriously. And we take the fact that you are Terrapins very seriously. And why? Because the hallmark of a Terrapin is kind of what you're doing today. One of the hallmarks is that you're taking risks and sticking your neck out just like a turtle. Right? You're getting in something that you're not sure about, so you're taking risk. You're moving something forward because a turtle, a terrapin, can only move in one direction. So that embodies the spirit of being at the University of Maryland. So I'm proud of you for taking on this challenge and for willing to possibly solve one of these incredible problems. And I want to give you a couple of examples before I hand the mic back to Richard and Sheldon of why it's so important how you as students can do something that truly impacts real lives. I was telling these two students who are sitting right behind me, I should have got your names, that about 13 years ago, there was a student who had a really great idea. How many of you, all of you, have gone to the dining halls of our campus? That's what I thought. So he asked this question of some of the dining staff. He said, "Hey, what do you guys do with the food at the end of the day?" And they said, "We just throw it in the garbage can." He said, that's not good. It's all paid for because you all already paid for it. It's all good food, but there's leftovers. So what he decided to do, his name was Ben Simon. You can look him up. He created something called the Food Recovery Network. And how many people have heard of that? Food Recovery Network. Not for profit. Initially, all he did was get a couple of students who were going to the dining hall like he did, come at the end of the day at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., box up the food that was left over, and take it down to homeless shelters in the District of Columbia. Simple idea, nice thing to do. There are now 600 plus chapters of food recovery networks on every university campus in the United States. How about a round of applause for that? Pretty nice idea, right? That was one of your students, fellow students who went here to the University of Maryland. Another student by the name of Evan Lutz, if I'm correct, created another not-for-profit called Hungry Harvest. Anybody heard of that? Aha, you've done your homework. So what does Hungry Harvest does? They're often plants and vegetables and fruit that are disfigured. But they're still vegetables and fruit that are just disfigured. And what he did was he collected all of that from various produce organizations and he sold it at 1/5, 1/10 the cost. And in some cases, he just gave it away. So he has now a for-profit entity that does that. But it started again right here at University of Maryland. So I commend you two, Richard and Sheldon, and I wish you guys good luck in your project presentations this evening, and thank you for participating in Hack4Impact.
Thank you so much, President Darryll Pines, for that great message. All right, now we want to show our executive board. So for the past 8 months, every single week throughout the summer, fall, and the spring, these 15 individuals worked with us closely, me and Sheldon, and we wouldn't be at this day today without them. So we can give like a huge round of applause to all our board members, please. And for the spring 2025 semester, we have one new board member. Unfortunately, Shreya Patel, who's in the left side right there, will be graduating. So now we'll have Krishnan, who will be our new Director of Education. So huge round of applause to him as well for being elected. All right. So now bootcamp graduation, I want to call our Directors of Education, Gavin, and also Shreya to the front.
We're going to give them the opportunity to say a few words about the bootcamp graduating class, and then we're going to celebrate them, have them stand up, and then we're all going to clap for them. But first, you guys can say a few words about the graduating class.
Okay, so hi, I'm Gavin.
I'm Shreya.
And we're the co-directors of education this semester for Hack4Impact-UMD. So bootcamp is just essentially a semester-long course where the fine students over there just had a class every week, and they had homework, and they were learning how to do full-stack web development so that next semester they can join our project teams to work to help these nonprofits so that they can gain the skills that they need to do their jobs well. So we couldn't be any more prouder of them than we are right now. They've done a really good job keeping on top of everything, and we're sad to see them go, but we're happy knowing that they will be able to help all sorts of different nonprofits over the next few semesters. So with that being said, we'll now call out their names, and then when we call out your name, please make sure to stand up to be recognized. And if everyone could hold applause until the end when everyone has stood up, that would be greatly appreciated. So without further ado, we'll say your names so that you can be recognized. Amindu Abadira, Suhani Agrawal, Annie Nguyen, Nakshatra Hirai, sorry, Annie Nguyen, Patrick Hong, Harshita Jayakumar, Sangeeta Selva, Kim Liu, Charu Mehta,
Divjot Muchal, Kavya Radhakrishnan, Pooja Raghuram, Leah Spagnola, Laurel Sun, Mahi Thakkar, Shreya Venkateswaran, Megan Walker, Stephen Wu, and Akash Wadali. Congratulations, y'all.
That's awesome. We are so happy to have you guys now hopefully be a part of our project teams in the coming semesters. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the organization. So now we are going to move on to our team project presentations. So we're gonna start off with Food for All DC. Actually, my mistake, before we get to those team project presentations, we have to first talk about the people that make that all possible, the sourcing team. And the project sourcing team director can come up now, along with the whole sourcing team.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nathan James. I'm the Director of Sourcing here at Hack4Impact.
Hi, my name is Isabella Steinebach. I'm the Deputy Director of Sourcing at Hack4Impact.
If you don't know, the sourcing team handles all NPO communication when it comes to reaching out to different NPOs, contacting them, and sourcing these ideas for our future project teams and our engineers. Yeah, so we're gonna go around, our sourcing team is gonna introduce themselves, and they're gonna say the NPOs they met with or some good NPOs that they're gonna meet with soon.
Hello, my name is Isabel Thomas. I'm a sophomore majoring in information science, and some of the NPOs I've met with this semester include the National Parks Conservatory Association, the MDDS Foundation, American Humane, and the Humane Rescue Alliance.
Hi everyone, my name is Ritika and I'm a sophomore majoring in computer science, and two of the main NPOs I worked with this semester include Camp Starfish and the Education Partnership.
Hi, I'm Layla. I'm a sophomore majoring in computer science. Some of the NPOs I met with this semester were Girls on the Run, Wesley Housing, Restoration Immigration Legal Aid, and then I'm meeting with the Breastfeeding Center for Greater Washington tomorrow.
My name is Daniel. I'm a sophomore and I'm majoring in CS and math, and I've met with West Park Cultural Center.
Hi, I'm Cassie. I'm a sophomore majoring in accounting and information systems, and in the upcoming weeks, I plan to meet with Beyond Borders and Changing Perceptions.
Hi, I'm Shreya. I'm a junior computer science major, and the NPOs I'm meeting with are the Embrace Relief Foundation and Alexandra's Playground.
Hi everyone, my name's Amira Bujama. I'm a double degree in computer engineering and public policy, and I'm currently working on scheduling a meeting with Stella's girls.
Hi, I'm Asta. I'm a junior and an information science major, and currently I'm in communication with Pathways to Housing DC and 0 Hour.
Hi, I'm Stuti, a sophomore computer science and business double major, and I hope to be meeting with Action Youth Media in the coming weeks.
Hi, my name is Mina. I'm a computer science major, and I'm hoping to meet with Share for McLean and several other organizations this semester.
Hi, my name is Arush Jain. I'm a sophomore, and I'm studying computer science. I have met with the DC Peace team this semester, and I plan to meet with the Annapolis Art District soon as well.
Hey, can we get a round of applause for our sourcing team? Okay, and I think it would be a good, you guys can all sit down. Okay, so if we can move on to the next slide. Okay, so this semester, we were able to contact 403 different nonprofits, which saw 162 NPO contact growth from the last semester.
We also had 12 different NPO meetings with different nonprofits, and we have 3 scheduled that are upcoming in the next few weeks, as well as 4 different nonprofits that we're currently in contact with to schedule meetings.
And this semester, we also had an NPO contact exchange with the Do Good Institute, where we exchanged information and contact information specifically between their NPO partners and our NPO partners, so we can better reach out and expand our overall NPO network together.
I would now like to introduce one of the nonprofit partners that we're working with this semester. When I was a sourcing member last semester, I actually sourced this nonprofit, and I'm so excited to see the project that's come out of it. So I'd like to introduce Peter Sage, the Executive Director of Food for All DC.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having us. And thanks especially to the Hack4Impact team that's working on our project. So Food for All, it could be named Food Forever, because we've been around for 40 years. And actually, that's a testament to volunteerism, because we depend upon volunteers for our work. So it shows that the spirit of volunteerism is still very much alive in our society. So how are they helping us? Well, they're building a database because we do home deliveries. We're one of the few organizations in DC that do that. So we help people with food deliveries, grocery deliveries who can't get out to a walk-in food pantry. Maybe there's a disability, maybe they're seniors and they're a little frail, maybe they're single mothers with babies or infants, maybe they have a chronic disease. And so we do about 220 of those home deliveries every week. Now we work very closely with area caseworkers. So the caseworkers do the screening for us to make sure that our clients are indeed homebound. But more importantly, we work together in sort of a case management in a way. So for example, The other day, a caseworker from MedStar Health said, one of my patients has only eaten crackers for a week. Can you help? So of course we help, and we give a very balanced diet to people. Another caseworker contacted us and said, like, one of my patients really needs to eat more fiber. Can you help? So yeah, we got oats and we got bananas and we got apples to that client right away. So in this way, there's a whole system evolving in DC whereby we can make sure that people get the food they need. And of course, it's not just food, it's also human contact. Because many people, for their families, they have a television set. That's kind of it. That's their interaction with humans. So when there's a call or there's a visit from a volunteer, there's a social interaction there, which is extremely important, especially for our seniors. So there we are. Thank you so much again for having us, and thanks especially to the team working on our project. It's been a wonderful experience so far. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys. We are so happy to have you as a partner and be building something for you. So now we're actually going to talk about the project that we are building for Food for All DC, and they will be the first team doing a presentation. So if everyone from Food for All DC could come down now, while we're doing that, we do want to take a moment to thank the Do Good Institute. I don't know if we've mentioned that before. We are receiving funding from them as part of that collaboration. And also another new collaborator we're working with this semester is Microsoft. So we're putting Microsoft engineers on our project teams to help us build software. So it's just something we wanted to mention while everyone's coming up. Awesome. So we're gonna get started.
Well, hi everyone. I'm Laksha, one of the PMs working on this project, and we've been working with Food for All DC. They gave us a wonderful introduction earlier. This is what we'll be going over during our presentation. This is a team that's been working on this project all semester. So, who is Food for All DC? They are a volunteer-run org based in DC, providing food to people facing adversity. Since 1984, they deliver nutritious groceries to homebound people, and this includes those with health issues, disabilities, as well as older adults and single parents with young children. So currently they rely on a custom-built client database and scheduling application that was developed in PHP and MySQL and runs on a hosted Linux platform. But this application has become outdated and often experiences technical issues with hosting and frequent API failures. So we were tasked with modernizing and consolidating all of these features into a single user-friendly solution.
Hi, I'm Maya. I'm the other product manager for Food for All DC team. So for our project goals, we wanted to create a system that was modernized and consolidated, have a real-time client data management system, streamline the scheduling process, and have route management where we could develop a tool to suggest delivery routes based on driver availability and location, while also allowing admin to adjust and finalize assignments for flexibility and control.
Hello, I'm Valen, I'm the designer, and our NPO actually had a great foundation with their website, and it was my job to allow users to more easily access those features. So the main issues that were barring that ability were a lack of navigability, extraneous cognitive load, and limited visualization, which all led to more confusion when trying to navigate different features of the website. And to improve this, the goals that were included with this were simplification and organization. So primarily just chunking complex information and minimizing unnecessary information that could have been condensed into other places of the website. Additionally, it's mostly involving reorganizing the design hierarchy to make it more apparent for users where to go. So the solution for that was mostly just designing a simplistic website that has consistent designs with grouping that allows users to more easily navigate the website. So how was that done? So what I did primarily was condensing and hiding more of their features so that they could navigate that to go to different parts of the website to access all the information that was provided there. There's a lot of important stuff that they need to see, and making it easier to see by putting it in specific places that would make sense to the users was more useful for navigating the site. Additionally, adding search functions and filtering would make it easier for users to find information related to their clients, and then navigation between pages for additional information and client details was important for making sure that they could access what they needed. The calendar page itself primarily allowed for a full view of clients during the day. Our NPO expressed that they had a lot of people each day who were getting deliveries, and it's difficult to see all those deliveries on a tiny little calendar page. So primarily making it just available all throughout different dates, switching between the dates, and being able to filter for information was essential for making that easier for users to find information based on deliveries. Additionally, switching and filtering between deliveries and then condensing client and delivery information was added to that. And finally, route assignment and visualization was added so people could see where they were going with those deliveries.
Hi, my name is Shreya. I'm one of the co-tech leads on this project. So we used a pretty robust tech stack consisting of Firebase, TypeScript, React, along with Python for the route management algorithm. We also used Google Maps API to implement the said algorithm. Our engineers will dive deeper into the main features of the app, talking more about the details of how they implement it, but we will just give a high-level overview of what those are and the progress we've made so far. So the first one being client database, the second one is the delivery management system, and the last one being the route management system. So far, we have implemented medium to high fidelity designs for all of our main pages. We have a functional route management system algorithm, along with a partially implemented client database and the delivery management system that is accessible through the calendar.
Hello, my name's Steven. I'm the other co-tech lead. As for next steps, we're looking forward to adding sorting and filtering into the client database, as well as creating the UI for clustering each individual delivery. Beyond that, we want to polish the UI overall, as well as transfer the old databases into the Firebase database for better integration. After all of that, we are looking forward to debugging the whole system and making sure the whole app is robust. I'm super excited about what we got going on so far for this semester, and I'm looking forward to seeing our completed result next semester. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Neha, and I'm an engineer on the team. So I worked alongside another engineer to create the admin login page. And basically, we wanted to make sure that the UI matched the Figma. So we made it so it looked like the images shown on the screen. And another big part of our task was connecting to Firebase so that we could authenticate the email and password combinations, as well as having a pop-up that would, if any of the admins forgot their password, they could input their email. And Firebase provides a functionality for that. So we just integrated it together so that they could reset their password.
Hi, my name is Michael. I'm one of the engineers, and so I worked on the client database. And so our base level goals with developing this feature was to create a responsive view of the client so that you could view the application on a desktop and on the mobile. And so this included also implementing the sorting and editing functions that Steven said we're still working on. And then after we created the client-facing view of the client database, we also wanted to make sure it was connected to the database, so Firebase. And so we were able to implement that. And so when we were creating new clients, it's reflected in the database. Now I'll pass it off to Arjun, who also worked on this feature.
Hi, so my name is Arjun, and one of the challenges, or a couple of challenges we faced while working on the client database, one of them being the design, the UI part of it. We wanted to make sure that it matched the Figma as accurately as possible, and one of our biggest problems was trying to get the search bar to be as accurate to the Figma design as that we got, and that was something that me and Michael worked on together. And then another issue was connecting the database to show the live users through the Firebase. And me and Michael essentially worked together on this page, and we met up on Zoom calls, and we had good leadership with our tech leads that helped us throughout that process.
So another big aspect of our website is the client profile page. And one aspect of this page
is implementing CRUD functionality for all of the client objects, which integrates into our Firestore database. One challenge with this was making sure that the profile component is always referencing the correct client object, and one solution to this was including the document UID as like a path parameter in the URL.
In addition, one of the other challenges we had was connecting the UI to the Firebase and making sure that everyone who fills out the form does it like consistently, so that like if people miss a particular field, it still enters in the same way into the database. When we look at it on the spreadsheet, it's still consistent, and for that we had to use consistent typings and provide interfaces and models that allow not only to validate the fields, like making sure that the email is valid and the address is valid, but also making sure that we use those models to make sure that the Firebase is also clean and consistent and not cluttered.
Hi everyone, my name is Krishnan. I'm also an engineer. I work towards implementing a dynamic view of daily deliveries to reduce information overload for drivers during their already hectic schedule. And I accomplish this by consolidating essential information from the client and event Firebase databases with their associated deliveries on this beautiful calendar. And I also prioritize intuitiveness by including convenience features like autocomplete fields, button to go back to today's deliveries when browsing, the ability to scroll, and several more. But since we had several features with a tight schedule, I faced difficulty in deciding which features to build on my own and which to use existing libraries for, and I address this issue by setting aside time to read through all the available APIs and documentations and performing a cost analysis before finalizing the implementation.
Yeah, my name is Joseph Cho. I worked particularly on the route management system, so the baseline implementations that we did after doing some exploration with different algorithms, such as basic ML algorithms like k-means and k-medoids. We also tried graph clustering algorithms as well, using Laplacian matrices and whatnot. We ended up creating 2 baseline implementations that were both cost-effective, but at the same time accurate, because we had to make a decision between what is the best distance metric versus what is actually like feasible in terms of like pricing. So that's what we mostly did. In terms of challenges, of course, I mentioned that earlier, but there's some decisions we had to make in terms of like the constraints with the API and whatnot. We had to implement some batch API calls that we had to like consider in terms of like the overall cost analysis. Additionally, we had to avoid scope creep, where we did not want to overdo our implementation before actually like we had to like confirm it with the client first and foremost. So we didn't want to do too much at once. But yeah, that's basically what we did. And the graph there just shows like a sample clustering of a recent data set.
Okay, so for future goals, our plan is to have detailed designs at high fidelity so we can get those approved by the MPO and get feedback, implement the route management features, and finalize the implementation of the client database and calendar feature. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. The clustering algorithm work is really, really cool. So super excited to see how that turns out. Awesome. So next up, we are going to be bringing up the Hack4Impact-UMD website team. So if you guys could come down now, that'd be great.
Hi everyone, we're the team that's been working with Hack4Impact to redesign our website and create an internal application portal. So this is what we'll be talking about today, and all these lovely people here are the team that have been hard at work on this project for the last 4 weeks. My name is Shirvari, I'm one of the PMs on this project, and I'm going to pass it off to Faith, who's going to get started in talking about our scope of work.
So before I go ahead and talk about our current project, I did want to take some time to acknowledge the fact that our team started off the semester working on a different project with a nonprofit, but unexpectedly we decided to pivot halfway into the semester with only 1 month left of working time. But after we decided to pivot, we did work really closely with our executive board to identify some areas of improvement within our organization. So when we looked at our website, we saw opportunity to kind of add some dynamic features and also fix bugs. And then when looking at our club application process, we saw that the Google form application that we were currently using was really hard to navigate for applicants. And it also required a lot of time and effort from our lovely director of recruitment to filter and sort through. And so with those issues, We outlined solutions such as adding those enhancements to the website and creating an application portal, which included progress saving, status tracking, and a reviewer dashboard. And so on the next slide, we have some of those MVP features that I talked about.
A little bit of the challenges that the PMs encountered during this time was communicating with that first NPO and then the waiting period in terms of transitioning into this project. We then had a rushed kickoff and a limited sprint time. We only had 2 sprints worth of work, so keep that in mind as our engineers are presenting, but they have done a fantastic job with the limited time that we were given.
Okay, so I'm Savia, one of the co-designers, and this is Zainab, the other co-designer. After researching similar websites, we were able to create the login page, which is shown on the left, and the actual application, which is shown on the right. We communicated with the product managers and the tech leads and Hack4Impact to make sure our designs properly aligned with their expectations and project requirements. One of the challenges we faced was quickly finishing these designs so that engineers could begin their tasks. The status page, which is shown on the left, makes it easy to keep track of the progress and has all post-submission information in one page.
After being accepted for Hack4Impact, applicants are able to accept their position. Here on the right, we do have a screen of the acceptance page that now eliminates the need for multiple Google Forms, making it easier for both the reviewer and the applicants. Here on the left, we know is a screen of the application page that reviewers can score. After research, we did notice that they struggle managing multiple screens through multiple windows, so we put everything in one place to make it easier for them. There on the right, it is the application dashboard that shows all the applicants, allowing the reviewers to efficiently view and pick the best candidates.
All right, so now we're going to transition a bit into the technical side of it. So unfortunately, my co-tech lead, Darryll, cannot be here with us today, so I will be covering the tech lead side. So a lot of our issues as a tech lead kind of came from our communication as well, because while talking with the NPO, we did not have a lot of information on the tech stack, and it was a little unclear as to what they wanted us to do. So unfortunately, we did lose a lot of time there. But now that we got the new project, within 4 weeks, we had to come up with a way, working with the PMs and the designers to figure out how can we get this working as soon as possible. So figuring out the scope of the project and which features we wanted to work on was a bit of a challenge, as we had to weigh the pros and cons of each. And then we had to also manage 2 parts of the final product, which is the dashboard and the portal. We did work with the engineers on the applicant portal, and Darryll, my co-tech lead, and I did work together to get the dashboard up and running. So there's a huge time crunch. And now I'm going to pass on to the engineers.
Hey everyone, my name is Eric, and along with Kalpana and Trinity, we were in charge of creating the login and sign up page for the application portal. Some of our tasks included doing things like getting users logged in or signed up if they didn't have an account already. This was done by allowing them to set up or enter a valid term mail and of course a password with certain characters in it as well. We also implemented user authentication with the use of Firebase, as long as using a Firebase database for our backend. Some challenges we had were, of course, learning Firebase, as this was not our initial plan in the beginning of the semester, but we were still able to learn it well in order to get something robust going up. We had some issues with, getting database privileges set up, but with the help of our tech leads, we were able to all communicate effectively with each other and make something really nice in the end.
Hi, I'm Nadia. I worked with Rishi and Daniel on the application form, so we implemented the designs for a bunch of different forms, so for the different roles that you could apply for. We also made sure that the form would autosave, so if you logged out and logged back in, you didn't have to re-input all that information. And then once you were ready to submit, you would send all that information back to our database so that the reviewers could see all that. And some of our challenges were just learning Firebase, getting some of the inputs to save. So the checkboxes were really important so that we could filter out which roles would actually show based on what each applicant was applying for. And obviously the short time frame was a bit challenging as well.
Hi, I'm Om. I worked on the application status feature along with Rishi, Hita, and Darryll. So we built an application status page which poses status for the user. We built a decision page, which shows a decision letter, allows the user to confirm or deny their acceptance on the same page. We also built an applicant review portal, which, as you could imagine, heavily streamlines the applicant review process. But some challenges we ran into were determining the specific requirements for each task, as well as just Firebase integration in general.
Hi, I'm Prakar, and I work with Sahil on the Hack4Impact-UMD website as a whole, as the first point of contact, really, for new applicants. We worked on largely bug and styling fixes, as well as functionality fixes like the contact form. We also worked through migrating our backend from Strapi to Firebase in order to help load times.
Yeah, and so as we look back at our entire semester, as you can see, some of our goals for Impact was just focusing on that streamlined experience for our applicants, and then also creating an accelerated process for our reviewers.
And in terms of future work, we hope to continue refining this product, potentially adding additional features like embedding resumes, volunteer role assignments, and advanced filtering. And we also hope to create an external application portal that kind of translates this for NPO applications as well. But overall, we're really excited to see Hack4Impact use this feature in future semesters for the application process. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you guys so much. You overcame a lot of adversity this semester. Actually, let's do another round of applause for all that adversity. Awesome. So next up will be the Appalachian Trail Conservancy team. So this team has been working for 2 or 3 semesters now? 2 semesters now. So lots of work here. Hand it off. You don't use this.
Hi everyone, we're ATC, or we're the team that's been working with ATC for the past 2 semesters, and we're happy to announce that we're completing our project this semester, so let's dive into it. So today we'll be going over an overview of our project, our design thinking, our engineering challenges we faced, the impact of our application, and the future goals and improvements that can be made. So starting off with meeting the team, I'm Tarun, I'm one of the PMs for this project.
I'm Megan, I'm the co-PM.
Our designers are Alida and Juhi. Our tech leads are Akash and Sophie. And our engineers are Rahul, Emily, Margaret, Jessica, Nick, and Brendan. So moving into our overview, I'll hand it off to Megan.
So I'll give a little more background on our NPO ATC. So their mission is to protect, manage, and advocate for the Appalachian National Scenic Trail. And then you can see to the right a picture along the trail. It's truly beautiful. And you can also see that extends all the way from Maine down to Georgia. And down along this trail, there's 31 trail maintaining clubs, which house over 6,000 volunteers. And these volunteers need to get training and they need to be tracked. And that brings us to our problem. So ATC had an old volunteer tracking and training interface with Salesforce, but it was insufficient for some reasons. For one, for the volunteers, completing the trainings wasn't intuitive or fun. And then for the admin, they didn't know if the volunteers were actually learning from the trainings or not, or whether the volunteers were like watching watching the videos and claiming they did. So the admin also couldn't know volunteer statistics, like how well the volunteers knew the material.
So our solution was 2 parts. The first part was to create a volunteer portal that would do 3 things. Gamify the trainings and make them more engaging for users, make them more wanting to learn. Create quizzes so that admins could see the exact progress of users and also whether they were actually learning the material. And then also an interactive dashboard that shows users their progress and their path forward. The second part was an admin portal. Admins were able to create trainings and pathways and associated quizzes. They're able to do data management with volunteers and pathways and trainings, and also just manage volunteers and moderate the platform. So moving on to design, I'll hand it off to Alida and Juhi.
So as designers this semester, one of our big considerations was making sure that the designs for the admin side of the website stayed visually consistent with the site as a whole, while still differentiated enough from the volunteer side to make it clear which side a user was on. We were also thinking about how the admin should be able to access the different parts of the website, and what were the intuitive ways that we could make the user experience flow. So into our first design, we were looking at the volunteer side. We were making a registration page for the new volunteers, and we wanted to make sure it was different enough for the regular logon page and intuitive enough, a quick way for a new volunteer to sign on and create their account. Then moving into the admin side, we had some more intensive designing work with creating our dashboard and our pathways and training libraries. Here's some considerations we had were what were the quick links that an admin would want to be able to go to as they first sign on to the site? How would they want to be able to filter between pathways, trainings, and what should show up first? And throughout the semester, we were iterating, adding new tags, reordering to make sure that it was the best site experience possible. And I'll pass it off to Juhi so she can talk a bit more about the rest of our designs.
Thank you, Elida. So we created a trainings and pathway editor. Admins are able to customize this. And through this, we would also be able to create a quiz, both for the training and the end of each pathway. So to also diminish any sort of overcrowdedness on each page, we created the customization and all the information to be on one page. And if you clicked on the next page, you could create the quiz. We also included features as saving to draft. You could immediately publish it, and you can also archive it. We also created a data management portal and divided into 3 tabs. First was volunteer information, second was trainings information, and third is pathways. As you can see, there's a lot of rows. On each row, you can click on it and it will expand to more information. And for example, for volunteers, it would have all of their information. For other ones, you'd have more statistics. And we would also have an ability to export data. You can export some, you can export all, and also a search bar to navigate quicker. And last but not least, we had our registration settings. So it was a page including an email template that would be sent out to new users when they registered, and also a code that admins are able to see and update it when it was, or last see when it was updated. And now I'll be passing it on to our engineers.
Yeah, so in addition to reviewing PRs and ensuring consistency across our code base, this semester we decided to extend our Firebase to from our volunteer portal to our admin. So we use this for hosting, authentication, and database. And to do this, we needed to allow for this accommodation. We wanted to extend our Firebase. So this included storing images for trainings and pathways that admins can add, as well as adding assets for registration, which Akash will talk more about.
So during this development phase, Sophie and I put a lot of thought into the new user registration experience. So how volunteers create their account themselves. Our NPO wanted only a select group of people to be able to create accounts or sign up. So Sophie and I implemented a closed sign-up process where volunteers or prospective volunteers would only be able to sign up with a registration code, which allowed for some increased security. In addition to that, we also put a lot of thought into which data we wanted to show to the admins. Our application has a bunch of different data points within it, so actively deciding how to retrieve the data and which data we wanted to allow the admins to see was something that we put a lot of time into. In addition to that, we had filtering and some exporting of data that was done as well. I'll now pass it off to the engineer.
So one of our tasks was the training and pathways editors. So these were available to the admin so that they could go through and create trainings for our volunteers to actually work through. As you can see on like the first screenshot on the bottom, it kind of like lets you collect a bunch of different info like the title, the descriptions, as well as images and links. And all these fields have input validation to make sure that, like, for example, the description isn't too long or too short, and like the links are actually like a valid link that works. And on the right image is the pathway editor, which allows them to create different pathways and add these existing trainings to them so that the volunteers can work through those. And I'd say some of the challenges that were faced were definitely just when trying to save all this info to our backend, and then actually like publishing those trainings later.
So another component of the site is the registration settings. So I helped to work on the new email creation and also the code change. And so that connects with the database and gives you that information, allows admin to change the new user emails in addition to the code. I think a main challenge that we faced was
being able to stylize the body of the email using like bold, italicized, underlining. And so we fixed that through using Quill.js.
Another part of the site that we worked on was the data management pages. And for this, it was mainly allowing admins to view and edit relevant information for volunteers, trainings, and pathways.
Some challenges we faced had to do with the pop-up to delete the volunteer. As you can see in that first photo, we were having a little trouble getting it to the front, but luckily we did manage to get it working. And we also had to think about how we wanted to organize our backend data when we were retrieving it, because not all the information that we wanted in the grid was under one type. So we had to look through different types and organize it with a data structure when grabbing it to display in the grid.
Something that I spent a lot of time on this semester was the volunteer pathways. So from the volunteers' perspective, they can see all these pathways they have access to, and then within the pathways there are trainings. So I worked on this page where the volunteer clicks on the pathway and then displays all their trainings and their status on it, and it has a nice forest theme, and it just looks very fun.
This semester, I worked on mobile responsiveness of all the different pages on both the volunteer and admin side. As you could see, we have 3 different views of the training library. At the top is when the screen is as wide as possible, and you see the nav bar on the left. When you shorten the width of the screen a little bit, you have this bottom left image where the nav bar automatically closes. The drop down that says all on the right is so you could filter. And then if you go even further to this mobile view all the way on the bottom right, you see that it has the hamburger icon for the nav bar pops over the title, and the number of cards that show is down to 1 in each row. And the challenges that I faced doing this were mainly with the nav bar because it was a separate component. So I couldn't just say when the page is this small, do this. I had to also make sure that the nav bar was acting responsively.
So talking about our impact, basically the whole point of this application was to streamline and make the process for earning certifications easier for volunteers, as well as kind of gamifying the whole solution and just improving engagement and making volunteers more wanting to learn and gain these certifications so that they can volunteer in more things in the actual organization. And we also really work on admin transparency and make sure that admins knew how exactly volunteers were engaging with the platform and they could make decisions based off that. And lastly, I'll hand over to Megan to talk about the future.
So we're pretty much almost done with this. All we have is some testing to do and some connecting of pages, and then we'll have our handoff meeting with Sarah in late January. Yeah, thank you guys.
A beautiful presentation, a beautiful application that's going to help the management of thousands of miles of the Appalachian Trail. So thank you guys so much. Moving on, we're going to talk about Tennis Alliance. If you guys could come down here. Thank you guys so much for your intent listening so far.
All right, good evening, everybody. We're the Tennis Alliance team, probably the smallest project team on this year, and we're carrying on a project that was going on in the fall of 2023. And this is our agenda for today. Basically, we'll go through the team introduction, nonprofit, and the engineers and the design goes hand in hand, and then the impact in the future. So that's our playbook for today. So I'm the only PM on the team. My name is Zuccardi. We have Jeffrey Way as our tech lead, and then we have Rivan Parikh as our engineer. We have Edward Song, we have Will Just, we have Apura Chaudhary, and we have Juan. Moving on to an introduction to the nonprofit that we are working with. So the Tennis Alliance of Anne Arundel County is basically a nonprofit aiming to expand the tennis opportunities for all residents within the Anne Arundel County area with a special focus on under-resourced communities. Their mission is to promote tennis as a means to enhance health and wellness and lifelong engagement. They also offer adaptive programs together with those to include wheelchair tennis and tennis for the blind or the visually impaired. Through community events and partnership, Tennis Alliance fosters a love for the sport, aiming to inspire active, healthy lives for all in the Anne Arundel County. So moving forward to the tasks we have at hand, basically my team and I are focused on improving the registration system from the previous semesters. We're building on the work and aiming to transition the organization from paper-based registrations that they have right now and on to completely digitized registrations. Our primary tasks include aligning the website's user experience, which was from the previous semester, to the NPO's current needs, and then just automating the registration process for walk-up users and creating dynamic dashboards for two different types of accounts, mainly family accounts, which have adults plus children, and individual accounts where you can register as a volunteer, as a participant, or as a tennis instructor. So our solutions for this is basically conducting more frequent meetings with the NPO to get their new needs. And by effectively streamlining this and the user registration process, we are helping the Tennis Alliance achieve their goal of a more accessible and user-friendly system.
So yeah, currently our team didn't have designers since we're carrying over from a previous project, but these are our designs that we're working off of. We have a user and admin dashboard, as well as a user settings function and the user registration. So now we'll go over the tech processes and challenges. So we're using Firebase and Node with Next.js for our project. This was our tech stack from our previous semester, so we're kind of just continuing off of this. It's a pretty robust standard type of stack for this type of project. And so for me, myself, I'm a tech lead. And the main thing that I had to do was kind of understand the code base that we were kind of working off of, kind of understanding what we had to do to continue with our engineers and the best way to use what's existing. So what this allowed us to do was work on the current backend functions that are created for us and connecting those over to the UI and the front end. This allowed us to waste less time having to reinvent new solutions that were already created for us. And a challenge that we had to go through was aligning the code to match our Figma designs. We were really focused on the functionality itself and getting like all the functions to work. So we were kind of drifting away from our UI designs. And another thing was our user registration. We have an account which is a family account, and they're able to register many children as part of their account, and having to manage the data types and connecting that with the backend and pulling from the front end was something that we struggled with. So I'll be handing off to our engineers to talk about their work.
Yeah, so my main task for the semester was working on integrating a React calendar library into both the user dashboard and the admin dashboard. And I also worked on implementing the event registration, so users can register for various events that are displaying on the calendar, as well as selecting dates and then dynamically displaying these events for those days. So the goal of this was basically to provide like a user-friendly interface for the users to decide like which days they'd like to sign up for events, what type of event it's going to be, what time it will be, how many people are going to be in that event, and then just implementing the feature to register for those events. One of the biggest challenges I had this semester was working with the old cloud functions and kind of debugging the errors that I was getting while trying to pull it to the front end, and kind of working with the engineer who worked on this last semester, and then basically having a meeting to figure out what the error was. And once that error was resolved, it was pretty simple to figure out how to display the code onto the front end. And I'll pass it off to Eddie.
Hi, my name is Eddie. Some of the things I worked on this semester were a lot of the front end and back end functions. For the admin dashboard, one of the things I did was implementing the create event function, allowing the admin to create events with a lot of customization. For example, if they wanted to have a event description or like have a reoccurring event, as well as pick the dates, etc. I also worked a little bit on the user registration, in particular the family part, in which you had to like add children to a family account. There were some challenges with the family account registration for the children part because in the back end, it wasn't actually updating with each child. So that was one of the challenges I had. Another challenge was with the user registration part because some of the cloud functions from the old code wasn't working. So we had to fix some of that up. I'm passing off to Will.
Hi, my name is Will Josh. I worked on the user settings page as well as the forgetting password functionality, because previously when you clicked on the forgot password button, nothing would happen. So I just implemented the functionality so that when you click on it and you enter your email and the user submits, they are sent a password reset email to reset their email, and then they can click on a button to return back to the login screen. But going back to the user settings page, when a user initially goes on to the page, all of their information is pre-filled, such as their name, their email. And if it's a family account, their children info shows up, whereas if it's an adult account, it wouldn't show up, as you can see in the screenshot, as well as if they enter in any background and skills that background and interests, or if they select any skills and they save, if you were to refresh the page, it would also pre-fill as well. And so this allows for the user's info to already be there, so I don't have to reset it again. And then challenges that I had was getting acclimated to the Firebase system because it wasn't a technology I ever used before. And then the more I worked on the ticket, more tasks had to be developed. So it was just, there was more that initially entailed.
Hi, I'm Apurva. I worked primarily on the admin dashboard, search and filter functionality, and the event member messaging functionality. These features allow admins to effectively view all participants and volunteers associated with an event when they select it. And it provides an easy way for admins to see who exactly is associated with what events. It also allows them to mass message whoever they need to, or just send individualized messages when they need to communicate with a participant. One main challenge that I faced while working on these features was how the data was stored. So as the project went on, we found that the way that the account information was stored for participants and for the accounts themselves had to be changed, so that did affect how the filter worked.
Hi, my name is Juan. So I worked on mainly showing on displaying the registered events that a user has signed up for, showing everything from like the date along with like slots open. This is for achieving like transparency for the user, giving them control to determine like if they want to be in the event or not, adding a remove functionality. Additionally, I also worked on the sidebar and making it more streamlined, also making it look a little less cluttered, and overall just simplifying the user experience. And some of the challenges I mainly dealt with were getting used to Firebase, along with dealing with the old some like function calls, along with some updating with them too that required some redeployment. And yeah.
Our main team hurdles was basically 5 of our 7 members were new team working on a project team for the first time, and we just had a switch of leadership at the end moment. Next slide. And basically our impact for the future is not just being able to create a registration system, but enabling Tennis Alliance to focus on things that they are more aligned to, spreading out opportunities to more people and just streamline the process for them. And we'll be handing over the project before Christmas, hopefully. And yeah, that's it from us.
That will be an amazing Christmas present to Tennis Alliance. Great work, guys. So next up, our second to last project is a nonprofit that I think in 2023 gave away $3 million in free sporting equipment to underserved communities. And every year they give away millions. So next up, leveling the playing field.
Hello, everyone. We're Level the Playing Field. Today, we'll be going over the problem our application aimed to solve, the design and engineering process, and the impact our product is making. I'm Sarah Agarwal, and I'm the co-project manager on this team.
I'm Talima, I'm a designer.
I'm Devina, and I'm also a designer.
I'm Lance, I'm a tech lead.
I'm Nitin, I'm also a tech lead.
I'm Nancy, and I'm an engineer. I'm Galila, I'm an engineer.
I'm Chris, I'm an engineer.
I'm Varun, I'm an engineer.
I'm Sarah, I'm an engineer.
I'm Pranav, I'm an engineer.
I'm Viraj, I'm an engineer.
I'm Rohit, I'm an engineer.
And my name's Jack. I'm one of the other co-PMs on this project. One of our engineers, Alston, could not be here with us today. But now I'd like to introduce you to our problem. Specifically, we want to ask the question, how can we help LPF improve their checkout process? So now to begin, I think we should introduce who is LPF, or Leveling the Playing Field. Leveling the Playing Field seeks to address inequality in youth and community sports, specifically surrounding inequalities surrounding the price of equipment. They do this by redistributing sporting equipment to underserved youth and community recreation programs. But how do they do this? They personally hold multiple warehouses with sporting equipment, where they work with vetted nonprofits for in-person pickup. When they do this in-person pickup, organizations currently fill out a paper sheet while they wander around the warehouse, get the equipment that they leave, then in a Costco-style check your receipt, they work with an LPF representative who iteratively goes through the paper sheet, checks their cart, verifies that everything's there. However, we can identify many pain points within this process. Firstly, the fact that it's on paper. This leads to a very large amount of data loss for leveling the playing field, from things like illegible handwriting to numbers that are just wrong. LPF struggles to really keep track of their inventory in a meaningful way. In addition, leveling the playing field has multiple warehouses throughout the Northeast. Because of this large divided inventory, LPF struggles to exactly keep tabs on what they have where. Finally, LPF experiences a general language barrier. A lot of the underserved communities that they work with don't have English as their native language. When we're thinking about developing a checkout tool, we really wanted to consider a lot of the language barrier and developing a tool that could address this need. Within this, though, we also identified a couple of big opportunities for this tool. Firstly, general digital efficiency. Because of the fact that a lot of LPF's process currently occurs on paper, we hope to streamline their process through digitalization and software to be able to make their connected warehouses even better. Finally, we want to bring greater accessibility within this tool. We want LPF to be able to expand at scale, to be able to work with even more communities by implementing things like a strong UI along with the language localization that I addressed earlier. And so now I'd like to pass it to our design team to be able to address how we designed this tool.
So we wanted to make a very simple and intuitive design. So we just incorporated a lot of the colors and the fonts and the icons that were on their website. And then we also added very simple background designs.
So I'm going to go over the user flow for the checkout pages. So in our case, the user is just like the organization who wants to check out equipment. So usually these pages are accessed when they get to the warehouse. So they first just start with adding a sport, and then they go and add the equipment. So one of our main focuses from a design point of view is making sure that this process was straightforward and easy, so they can just go back and keep modifying and changing this.
Yeah, so now we'll talk about how we actually developed this tool. So for the front end, we used a standard tech stack that you've seen in many of the projects so far. This involves Next.js, TypeScript, Tailwind CSS, and Vercel for hosting. The back end of this app is mainly integrated with LPF's existing databases, which are on Salesforce, as well as their calendar, which is on Calendly. This allows them to keep track of their inventory, as well as schedule appointments with their clients. And this was a very big issue throughout the project.
So in addition to Salesforce and Calendly, we also had to integrate with this application with Firebase, which we used for authentication. We did this a bit later on in the project because there was a bit of miscommunication regarding how Salesforce manages accounts. Turns out Salesforce actually does not keep track of users' accounts or allow them to log in. So instead, we decided to use Firebase for authentication and simply keep track of the corresponding Salesforce contact when logging users in. Additionally, this application is only used by the users. The LPF staff, they told us that their admins will simply work with the Salesforce dashboard directly, and so they can correct any errors, and we wouldn't have to worry about developing an admin side of this application. Additionally, since it's meant to be used when the clients are in the warehouse walking around and checking out items, we mainly developed it for a mobile device, but it's still a website.
So the task that I was tasked for this project was creating the login page, and it allows users and organizations to log into the appropriate section in our web application. And when they click the organization application button, the JOT form opens up in a new tab so that LPF can ensure that they're making sure that whoever's trying to get equipment for them isn't for profit and that they're actually in need of these equipments. And once they verify that, they give them a login. So once they have this login from LPF, they can use the login with Google button, which uses Google sign in with pop-up function, and the Firebase implementation is still in progress. And some challenges that I had working on the login page were getting the icons on the login page to exactly match the Figma design.
So I worked on the front end, the back end for the organization profile page. This allows users to see the account and contact information for their organization, as well as edit all of this information directly on the page. Because of this, we implemented very extensive error handling, particularly for input validation, because this is connected to the Salesforce API and allows for real-time updates. And we just want to make sure everything doesn't actually mess up their databases. One of the main challenges that I had was the designs were still being iterated on as I was working on the page. So throughout the semester, there was some pretty major front-end implementation changes that I had to make.
Yeah, so me and Varun worked on the equipment search page, and this is self-explanatory, be able to search the equipment throughout their backend and understand that we have two modes you can use. You can either sort by equipment or you can sort by location. And so this will then dynamically update the display based off your choice.
Yep, and along with that, once you click on each warehouse, it gives you more information about the items that are available and what kind of sports are available at that warehouse. But some of the challenges that we had was properly updating the data that was showing in the components based on the current mode that the user was searching with, whether they were sorting by equipment or sorting by location.
Yeah, so the page that I worked on was the appointments page, and how it works is that it displays all of the upcoming appointments, and it displays where you could pick it up, what times you should pick it up. And so one of the features that is part of this page is that you could book a new appointment or you could exist a current appointment. And one of the challenges that I faced was data fetching, so I had to get the data for the specific accounts.
So Viraj and I worked on the checkout page, and how this page works is that the user first selects a sport, and then they can choose any equipment that they're taking from the warehouse and the associated quantity with that. And this page also allows users to delete individual equipment or entire sport sections. And we also have the ability to compress these sport sections for a better user experience.
Some of the challenges we faced while working on the checkout page was, first of all, the equipment sorting and filtering on the front end. As you can see, it's kind of a nested structure with sports sections and then equipment's underneath. So we had to ensure that users can add sports that didn't exist or select equipment that was already selected or unavailable. And go to the next slide. Olsen couldn't make it, so I'll just present his slide. He worked on the receipts page, and how it works is that it displays a user's past order history, chronologically pulling data from the custom API route / opportunity, which he wrote. Tapping view receipt displays a modal with key information, including an itemized and categorized list of items ordered. And some of the challenges that he faced was creating the API route and then parsing and cleaning that data.
And so one thing that we added was localization, which is basically language support for our website. And so on the front page of our site, there's a button that allows you to select what language that you want to view the page in. So here we have English, Spanish, and French. And so one of the challenges in implementing this feature was that the pages and designs were constantly being updated throughout the semester. So our localization dictionaries needed to be routinely updated as the changes were made.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. So I just kind of want to wrap this up by talking a little bit of the overall impacts that we hope this tool can bring to LPF. Firstly, we hope that this can bring a faster experience to both their clients as well as LPF. We see this tool being able to really expedite the process for both users going around the warehouse finding items, as well as the LPF agent working to check them out. In addition, we hope that this can provide a more detailed, centralized database. So LPF is able to track inventory across all of their warehouses in one solution to better keep tabs on everything. Finally, we really bring a general strong UI and localization tools. This is really going to allow LPF to engage with a lot of new communities that they can now serve just because of the amount of ease of use. Anyone can easily use this tool, and so we hope that LPF is able to serve a lot of communities with this checkout tool going forward. Thank you all so much for your time. We'll accept any questions if necessary.
Amazing. We don't have time for questions, but you can ask questions afterward or during the demos. So coming up next, last but certainly not least, the Children's Cancer Foundation team, accompanied by their Microsoft mentor, who should also come up here, who's been an amazing help to us and really highlights the benefit of a partnership with a company like Microsoft. So happy to have you here.
Okay, hi everyone. So our team this semester worked with the Children's Cancer Foundation. So here you go. We're gonna start with quick intros. My name's Aditi. I was one of the project managers of this product managers for this team, and my co is right here.
Hello, my name is Valentina, and like Aditi mentioned, I was the co-PM on this project.
Hi, my name is Arnav. I was one of the co-tech leads on this project.
And I'm Jacob, and I was one of the other tech leads on the project.
My name's Pari, and I was one of the designers.
I'm Jennifer, and I was the other designer.
My name is Tara, and I was an engineer.
My name is Jus, and I'm an engineer.
My name is Eileen. I'm also an engineer.
My name is Adrik. I'm also an engineer.
My name is Hanish. I'm also an engineer.
My name is Ryan, also engineer.
My name is Indra, and I'm also an engineer.
My name is Avish, and I'm also an engineer.
And my name is Javid. I was a mentor on this project.
Thank you guys. So now that you got to meet our team a little bit, we're going to introduce you to our NPO. So as I mentioned, our NPO this semester was CCF, the Children's Cancer Foundation, and they're a local nonprofit based in Maryland, and they work to raise and distribute funds for local pediatric cancer researchers and programs. Their main goal and functionality overall is just to improve the lives of children fighting for cancer. A statistic that I saw was that approximately every day, 50 families are notified that their children has cancer. So their impact is widespread and very important, especially in our country. And on top of that, every single year, CCF distributes over $1 million of funding to different researchers. And this functionality of theirs is what we mainly aided with this semester.
All right, so like Aditi mentioned, CCF, one of their primary purposes is to distribute money to cancer researchers in the DMV area. Currently, how they do this is via a grant application system, which is managed manually by the staff members of CCF. So what we mean by managed manually is that applicants send in their applications via email, and then CCF is responsible for pairing these applications with reviewers. They then send these applications to the reviewers, and if necessary, they also need to adjust reviewers in case there are any conflicts of interest. Afterwards, the reviewers will complete their review and then email that back to CCF, who will then be responsible for essentially notifying applicants of the result of their application. So as we can see, there is a lot of back and forth emailing by CCF, and additionally, in order to keep track of all of these applications, CCF uses an Excel spreadsheet. As we can see, this is very laborious on CCF's side and is incredibly time-consuming and also not quite scalable. So this is what we aimed to. So in order to help CCF with their mission, we decided to help create an online grant application portal. Based off of their application system, we decided that there needed to be three major portions. The first one is the applicant dashboard, which will be used by the applicants. They can use it to submit an application, and once they receive feedback, they can view their reviewer feedback. Depending on if they receive funding, then approximately a year later, they will have to submit post-grant reports, which we also plan to handle via our applicant dashboard. Additionally, since CCF also has reviewers, we decided that it would be best to also allow reviewers to use this application portal, so they can see applicants, they can score their applications, and they can also search through a library of previous applications. Finally, CCF themselves should have an account on this portal, so they will be able to view an admin dashboard, which will allow them to view and edit pairings of these reviewers and applicants. And it will also allow them to view all of the applications, reviews, and post-grant reports.
Yeah, so for our tech stack, we chose to use a very common pairing. As you've seen, we chose Firebase and React. This is because Firebase has built-in user authentication, as well as it was easy file storage for grant application PDFs. So when people are filling out their research grant, they have to submit a lot of PDFs stating what they'll do and how they're going to conduct their research. So we needed an easy way to store those, why we went to Firebase. And some of the stuff we did is we set up production local emulator environments for easier development for the engineers so they can test their code and make sure everything works. We worked with engineers to address roadblocks to ensure quality code, and we connected separate tasks like linking pages together and bringing components together to make a coherent page.
And some of the challenges we faced as tech leads, first of all, was with coding conventions. We had engineers on separate tasks, and sometimes being a new project, those tasks would sort of clash, and we would take different approaches. And so we ended up creating a best practices guide that sort of laid out how we wanted to have our file structure set up and our testing and our code style. Another issue we ran into was with interdependency of the tasks, where a slowdown in one task would lead to other tasks getting backed up. And so the solution to that was prioritizing our most essential tasks, fast tracking them through review, and making sure that our tasks overlapped as little as possible.
All right, so now we're going to be walking you through our design process. So starting off with the basics, we decided to use the same colors, fonts, and the same minimalistic design already existing on the current CCF website. With each page that we designed, we decided to do some research about our target audience and their user needs from the standpoint of user experience. Throughout the designing process, we were faced with many obstacles. The time constraints were our biggest challenge. In order for us to create a final design, we needed several back and forth meetings with the NPO. However, with our time limits, this was often difficult, so we had to adapt and be able to create a high quality deliverable to the engineers on time. So now we're going to be walking you through one of our first designs. This was our first low fidelity mock-up of our applicant dashboard. And so this draft allowed us to learn a lot. So as you can see in this design, we have some of the basic features, but we're missing a lot of key functionalities. We're missing the page is filled with a lot of unnecessary information, and there's also usability problems. So to combat this, we learned how to create functional pages, and we also were able to anticipate functionalities that the NPO might need but have not explicitly stated to us yet.
Okay, so speaking more a little bit on the designs, here are the designs for the two major components, the applicant dashboard and the reviewer dashboard. So as you can see, some of our features include the reminder banner on both dashboards to remind them when each of their applications were due. We included a sidebar so that they can open it up and also close it and move to the other pages, such as like account settings. And then we have drop-down menus. So all of the application features are on the main page so that it's easy access. So all of the applications are shown through a drop-down. And then we also included frequently asked questions and a contact us component to make it easy for them to contact the foundation if needed. And moving on to the grant application pages, this is the page that the applicants are submitting for the grant proposals. So first off, the page functionalities include firstly, the instructions and information about the general grant that they are submitting. They're then entering their general information and then answering application questions. And then they're finally submitting their PDF proposal. And on the last slide, we had a review of all their information that they inputted.
So as an engineer, I worked on a bit of front end and back end. So at the beginning, I worked on reading and writing PDFs to Firebase, which in this case were the proposals. And I also worked on storing reviewer and applicant account information and validating that data. And a main challenge with this was just testing with the emulator. But ultimately, it helped with our goal of scalability and storing a large amount of information, which was previously stored in Excel spreadsheets. So moving on, I later worked on the changing password functionality, which I made a separate component so that future engineers could use that for the forgot password page, which is not currently implemented. And then later, I worked more on the front end, and I worked on creating an account settings page and an application review page. And this ultimately helped users seamlessly enter information and not have to do the reviews through email like they were previously doing. And a challenge with this was just getting the actual front end to match the Figma.
Great. So I just want to quickly talk about like what it was like as an engineer and the experience. So it was great being able to work with this team and utilize tools such as like Notion and have a Kanban board. So every single week we'll be able to delegate tasks across the team so that there's clear communication between the engineers, whether that be between the engineers or the PMs and the tech leads. And I feel like this also helped with the challenges that we faced, especially as engineers and I faced, whether it be time management, juggling responsibilities throughout the semester, having everything in one place was great. And also being able to adapt to real world constraints. It's more than just getting the task done, but also focusing on how did this page specifically help the user review the application or review the grant was another big thing that we focused on as engineers.
And that's all we have for you today, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And a quick little mention, this is a continuation project, so you'll see us spring 2025. Stay tuned for updates and a completed project then. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much, and thank you to Javid, our Microsoft mentor. A lot of the project teams had Microsoft mentors. Javid showed up here today, so thank you so much. Actually, let's clap it up for him and all the work he's done for us. He's helped us set up a lot of stuff related to the giving portals and stuff for our collaboration with Microsoft, so thank you to Javid. Okay, so now it is time for project demos. So what we're gonna do is we are going to have 20 minutes of project demos. Also, if you haven't scanned the attendance form yet, please make sure to scan that. So everyone's set up. We'll do 20 minutes of walking around for project demos. And then soon after that, we will have a lot of pizza for everybody. But first, project demos. So everybody get set up. You can see here where all the different teams are. So feel free to walk around and check out all the different teams. And yeah, we'll start a 20-minute timer and some music. Okay, so with demos over, we are going to be giving away our Pixel prizes, and I'm going to hand it off to Brandon to walk us through that, make that happen.
All right, everybody. Throughout the entire semester, we have been tracking your participation through our wonderful Pixels program. And now, this is the moment where your dedication, your work, your winning activities, like our spooky, scary mystery and our November scavenger hunt, this is what it all comes down to. We have 3 wonderful prizes for our top 3 Pixels earners this semester. And now I'm going to introduce all 3 of them. Starting with 3rd place, we'll be winning a 24-ounce Hydro Flask water bottle. Yes, I know. The gas was great. Our 2nd place will be winning the brand new JBL Clip 5 speaker. It's great. I have the JBL Clip 3. This one's like 8 times better, and mine still works after many years. And our 1st place winner, as Richard holds it up, a 24-inch, 100 hertz monitor! That's right. That is right. Yeah, this was a competitive season of Pixels because... Is this unmuted? Uh-oh. This has been a competitive season of Pixels because we've had so many different unique events, from office hours to the large collab events to the in-GBM activities to the outside of GBM activities. We even had a tie for 3rd place going into me putting in the Coffee Chats Pixels, which broke the 3rd place tie. And with nearly 5,000 pixels, that's a lot of pixels. For reference, coming to a GBM gets you 0 pixels. So, with nearly 5,000 pixels from Bootcamp, Laurel Sun! She's still here? Come on! All right, you can come on up to receive your Hydro Flask. Again, Coffee Chats, in case you weren't a part of Coffee Chats, we had 50 different coffee chats between 30 different members throughout the semester, and that got, some people got over 1,000 pixels from doing coffee chats. That was great, and congratulations on 3rd place. Next, we had 2 people break the 5,000 barrier. In case you were following the leaderboard leading up to when we closed it, it was a 2-horse race. And in 2nd place, receiving the JBL Clip 5 speaker from the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, Sophie Sun! Yeah. All right. And the 1st place, you might already know who you are, with 5,700 pixels from Bootcamp, Steven! All right. An absolute participator in every single event. Winning this monitor. Congratulations, and shout out Bootcamp for a lot of pixels. The 3rd place tie was between another Pixel Bootcamp member before it was broken. So thank you so much, Bootcamp, and for everyone for doing pixels, or for contributing and participating. And next semester, we will have a wheel, so everyone will be able to potentially win a prize.
Okay, now we're going to be celebrating our graduating seniors. So we don't have Pomp and Circumstance pulled up right now, so maybe I'll like sing it, I don't know. Like, I think, is that how that song goes? I don't know, I'm not sure. Oh, that's the You Can, okay, wow, I gotta stop singing here. I'm just gonna pull it up right now. Can you pull it up? I have one hand. But we want all of our graduating seniors to come up right now. So if you were, you know who you are. Congratulations. Congratulations, Zainab. Congratulations. Woo! Congratulations. Sahil, congratulations, Sahil. This is my goat right here. This is my goat. Look at my goat. Congratulations, Sophie. Congratulations, Nitin. Congratulations, Rohit. Woo! Shout out to our graduating seniors. It got serious. Perfect. Amazing. Awesome. Okay, guys. We're just going to take a final photo. But before we say that, just to get you guys in a smiling mood, I just want to recognize, I think Richard and I both would like to recognize the amazing community that we have brought together here. We would not be possible without the work that you guys do. And every showcase, every time we meet and we see all you guys, we hear about your work through our board meetings or otherwise, I'm like blown away. See, I'm even voice cracking because of just how emotional I get about this, right? I'm blown away by the work that you guys are doing. So I want to just congratulate everyone that's contributed in any way, including Bootcamp, everybody that, even if you're not on a project team, we are so appreciative of the work that you guys are doing, and this wouldn't be possible without you guys. So actually, Richard, do you have any words too? You want to say anything?
Yeah, total +1. I joined back in like fall 2022 because I wanted to create a larger impact, and so up until spring 2024, I wanted to take on this role as executive director in order to be able to impact not only my project team, but also sourcing Bootcamp, all the project teams, and also even my executive board. And I really didn't think that we would get to this day with the entire auditorium filled up, even President Pines and also our Microsoft mentors and all of you contributing your time and trying to balance school and also Hack4Impact and trying to contribute to the society for the greater good. So we want to just I'm truly appreciative of you all for your tremendous work throughout the semester, and we hope to see you next semester.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. That clapping was for you guys, right? This is not about us. So thank you guys so much. Now, everyone come up and let's take one big photo. Let's do it.
All right, say cheese. All right.
Let's do a funny one.
Let's do one more serious one. I hope I can know. All right.
Don't do a funny one, actually.
All right, say cheese. All right, now do a funny one. All right, you got 5 seconds. All right, whatever. All right. We got quiet. All right, say cheese. All right, you want to do a funny one or no? Guys, what's the 3:15?